What's up guys, Gullyboy back at you with another most popular songs video, and this time we're going to be checking out the top 10 most popular songs from Yeat. Before we get into the tracks, I must inform you guys that I'm very familiar with Yeat's music. On one of my Twitch streams from a couple of months ago, some youngins hopped into the chat and told me to check out an artist named Yeat. To make a long story short, I ended up being impressed by how creative he was, and when I went to listen to certain albums from Yeat, I was impressed even more. But I will admit that every track doesn't bump in his catalog, as his creativity is also his downfall in certain aspects. But we're about to get into all of that. Let's go ahead and check out Yeat's 10th most popular song, Still Counting.
10th most popular Yeat song, Still Counting. 10,630,106 views.
Rex came in, I was still in the talker. Rex came in, they could fit in his talker.
When it comes to artsy tracks like this one, I can most certainly understand its appeal to certain people. One thing that I like about Yeat is that he's very creative with his vocals, even though I don't understand what he's saying 90% of the time. The only word that I can understand on this song is Tonka. Hell, I can understand that word on all of his tracks, as he mentions that he has a Tonka truck on almost all of them. This track also comes off of his album 2 Alive, which I've listened to fully. Out of 20 tracks, only 8 stood out and are in heavy rotation. Sadly, this wasn't one of them. Now when it comes to me disliking a Yeat song, it all depends on what he's doing with his vocals, as his production is always top tier. On this track, he does this annoying howl throughout it, and I also dislike when rappers like Yeat do the intense fast flow over auto-tune. It just sounds like it's all over the place. And with that being said, this one was a major skip on this album.
9th most popular Yeat song, Flawless, featuring Lil Uzi Vert. 10,865,718 views.
You don't exist. Take a perk and a token, that's it. Money swallowed like sis. They're perfecting the kid.
Flawless would have been flawless if it wasn't for the 40-second long intro in the beginning. The intro comes from a comedic video where a guy talks about his philosophy on money.
On my watch, I mean time is money. Money on my phone, I mean I talk to the money. Money on my chain, I mean the money hang with me.
It's a funny video, and it's cool to hear it at the beginning of this song for the first time. But if you want to go back and listen to this banger, which you're gonna want to do, you gotta sit through this long intro. But it ain't nothing editing software can't solve. Other than that, this song is pure heat as the instrumental bumps, and Yeat starts off his verse with hypeness along with the great flow. His melodies are also great, and when he shouts the word flawless, it's very catchy.
Flawless, 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 yeah, flawless.
Lil Uzi would then slide on the track and absolutely murders it. He comes through with a lot of creativity that involves him switching flows along with having great melodies. This is just overall a great track, filled with hypeness and creativity, and I'm sort of shocked that it doesn't have more views.
Flawless, 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 yeah. Buffy the Vampire Slayer with these guardians.
8th most popular Yeat song, Talk. 13,654,485 views.
Jump out at the show, jump out at the show. Had to turn on flow, yeah.
Talk bumps like crazy. This is definitely one of Yeat's most elite tracks, as it delivers on all aspects. The beat on this one slaps incredibly hard, and Yeat delivers incredible vocals. As I mentioned before, I really can't understand what he's saying, but he presents his flows and melodies so good, I don't think it matters. The only thing you need to know is that he's riding around in his Tonka truck, and he's counting a lot of money.
Riding in that beat, let that Tonka truck. Ride around these bust down watches on red, got my blinking.
Now I can only speak for myself here, but I've come to the realization that I'm someone who's fascinated by how creative a rapper can be, and Yeat is definitely one of those artists. But I must also clarify that just because an artist is creative doesn't mean that I'm going to like their music. It still has to sonically sound good to me, and this track definitely sounds good to me sonically. This song also has that hype element to it. I can see this track being performed during mosh pits as it brings so much energy. This one is definitely a supreme banger from Yeat.
7th most popular Yeat song, Turban. 13,742,911 views.
Rockin' the turban. Sippin' them up, it'll be like bourbon.
Remember when I said that I'm someone that's fascinated by creativity, but the music still has to sonically sound good to me? This track is the perfect example of a creative track not sounding good to me. It's crazy because the instrumental on this track is absolute flames, but Yeat's vocals are all over the place. There are moments on this track where he has a consistent flow on the beat, but out of nowhere, this dude turns into a heavy metal artist that smoked 10 packs of cigarettes.
Heard it, do what I can. Heard it, do what I can.
And of course he won't forget to mention that he has a Tonka truck with this new horrible accent. If it wasn't for this vocal choice, this track would be so much better. He'll also rap some of his verse with this voice, which kills the track entirely. This one is a major skip.
6th most popular Yeat song, Sorry About That, 18,369,070 views.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Now I know that this is one of Yeat's most well-known tracks, but in my opinion, it's one of his mid songs, as there are plenty of tracks from him that I think go harder. The major highlight on this track in my opinion is when he says sorry about that. It's very catchy. The instrumental is also a major highlight as well, but overall the track is just okay in my opinion. I think this track would have worked better if he incorporated the sorry about that phrase more, as the majority of the track consists of one long verse where he changes his vocal tones. Although I'm impressed by this, I don't like how it sounds overall. I'm just waiting on him to say sorry about that again. But like I said before, this track is mid in my opinion, as other tracks of his go way harder.
5th most popular Yeat song, Out the Way, 23,467,318 views.
I honestly like the nonchalant vibe about this track. It's also really easy on my ears, as Yeat doesn't do anything crazy with his vocals. This song almost kind of sounds like background music. That's just the vibe I get from it. This is not a bad thing at all, as background music is awesome. This is also another instance that shows how creative Yeat is, because tracks up to this point had sort of a hype feel to them, whereas this one is the complete opposite. This also shows Yeat's range, as he can bring different vibes to tracks. He also continues to bring unique flows, making this one a major highlight in this playlist.
Yeah, put it up on the drinks, put it up on the cup, put it up on the swerves.
4th most popular Yeat song, Out the Line, 23,557,433 views.
Yeah, how he does it. Stuck in them mixed feels, yeah, 'cause I love it.
On the Line is one of the highlights on his 2 Alive album. The whole vibe of this track is dope, as the beat slaps, but is also calming in a way. Yeat showcases his vocal ability well here, as he switches up his flows, along with bringing in catchy ad-libs. Here's another thing that I also have to mention. As I stated in my Wayne reviews, I have no problem if a rapper has repetitious subject matter. The key is that they can't be repetitive with their overall style. They will have to bring unique instrumentals and flows in order to keep my attention. Yeat succeeds at this quite a bit, making him one of my favorite new school acts. This track is just another example of him executing this.
How he does it. Stuck in them mixed feels, yeah, 'cause I love it. 45 seconds you want it.
3rd most popular Yeat song, Poppin', 24,156,705 views.
I need my drugs, I need my love. Bitch, pulling up and
It's funny because this was the first Yeat song that I heard, and I didn't like it at first. I felt like he was just mimicking rappers with similar styles, but I was proven wrong when I heard another track from him, and that's when I truly recognized his skill. Now when I listen to this track, I can recognize his skill here also. This track just overall has a great vibe. You could literally cruise the coast in your Tonka truck, blamming it through your speakers. The instrumental is very addictive, and Yeat's vocals are godly here. It just seems like everything is perfect. The auto-tune sounds good, his flow is top-notch, and he's also easy to understand on this track. My favorite line is where he says he's smashing hoes in the drop, and you actually hear the clapping noise. Nah, but on some real shit, his flow is impeccable here, and this track is a serious banger.
2nd most popular Yeat song, Get Busy, 29,073,849 views.
This song is another instance where the production is incredible, but Yeat's vocal choices aren't good to me. I don't think I'm gonna say that his vocals aren't good, it's just not my cup of tea. One thing that I gotta acknowledge about Yeat is that he's extremely creative with his vocals. It seems like he can come up with multiple ways to sound different on tracks. This is a blessing, and it's also a curse, as some tracks that I don't like from him are because of his vocal choices. The thing that I don't like on this song in particular is the sound he makes with the auto-tune. The whole song sounds like he banged his toe on a bed rail and is now screaming in pain. That might be an over-exaggeration, but it does sound like this boy is in pain, and for that reason, this track is a major skip. I don't know if this is gonna go over well, as this is his second most popular song on YouTube, but I'll assure you that Yeat has songs that blow this one out of the water.
The most popular Yeat song on YouTube, Money So Big, 43,141,389 views.
Yeah, my money big body, my money talking. All niggas, I really don't want my money been talking about.
It's crazy that I just said that it might not go over well for me not liking the previous song when I think this one is much worse. I've also been holding the fact that I've listened to the entire album, which includes this track and other tracks in this playlist. I say this because Up To Me is my favorite Yeat album so far. I have only fully listened to 3 of his albums, and out of those 3, Up To Me goes the hardest in my opinion. Out of 22 tracks, 13 are in my playlist, and this track isn't one of them. Once again, the production is great here, but Yeat's vocals are atrocious in my opinion. It literally sounds like that boy recorded this track while he was sick. It also sounds like his vocals are distorted here, which just makes for an overall bad experience for me. I don't think I could stress how obnoxious his vocals are on this track, and I also can't believe that this is the most popular song on the album, as there are plenty of tracks on here that blow this one out of the water. But hey, that's just my opinion. If you get mad, I can give 2 flying fucks, cause this is based off what my ears enjoy, and this track makes my ears bleed ferociously. All in all, this one is a major skip, and I still can't wrap my head around this being his most popular song. Like, what the hell is going on? The boy has so many other bangers. In conclusion, I truly feel like Yeat is this generation's new superstar. Although I'll admit that he's not perfect, I will say that he has the ability to create some really fire tracks. This is the same feel I have when I listen to his projects. There will be quite a bit of tracks that I don't rock with, but the songs that I do like are in heavy rotation, as he brings so many creative elements to them. He's also very unique, and isn't one-dimensional like so many rappers that are out. Although his subject matter is repetitious, and you can't understand what he's saying on certain songs, his creativity overshadows those flaws greatly. Now again, this is all my opinion, and I can understand if someone doesn't like his music, but if you ask me, he's absolutely fire. I still have to listen to more of his catalog with the new album that he dropped this year. I'll get around to it someday, but as for now, I think that Yeat just needs to keep doing what he's doing, as he has the ability to truly become memorable within rap. But with all that being said, this was my opinion on Yeat's most popular songs. I'm gonna do a lot more of these, so stay tuned. It seems like I gotta check out this Rio the Young OG, as he was the most recommended on the Baby Tron video. So with all that being said, I'm gonna see you guys there.